Hey everybody, it's Mr. Hasquin. I'm that bored social studies teacher on summer break, and I'm back with more things you should know by being alive. And today I want to tell a story of, well, one of the Revolutionary War's boldest and most fascinating women. She disguised herself as a man to fight for independence. And so in this episode, I want to talk about, well, Deborah Sampson. Deborah Sampson was born in 1760 in Massachusetts. Her family was poor, and her father abandoned the family. He walked out. And by the time Deborah was the age of 10, she was indentured as a servant, meaning she was sent out to basically pay off the debt for the family by working it off. She had very little formal education, but she was able to teach herself to read by candlelight. She wasn't wealthy, she wasn't powerful, but she was determined. And when the Revolutionary War broke out, she wanted to do something more than just stay at home and sew uniforms. So in 1782, near the end of the war, Deborah Sampson disguised herself as a man, and she enlisted, and she used the name Robert Shurtleff. She was able to join the 4th Massachusetts Regiment. She served in the Continental Army. She was able to fight in several skirmishes, including near Tarrytown, New York, and even got wounded in the thigh. Now, terrified of being discovered, she went ahead and removed the musket ball from her own leg just so she wouldn't have to go and see the doctor. It also could be like a health insurance thing too. But anyway, she kept her identity secret for well over a year. Now, eventually though, she became ill with fever. She loses consciousness. A doctor examined her and discovered the truth. Now, Robert Shurtleff was actually Deborah Sampson. She was honorably discharged in 1783, shortly after the war ended. But that wasn't the end of her story. She married, she had some kids, and became one of the first American women to go on a public speaking tour. She just wanted to tell her story of, in uniform, and she's dressed, she's in front of packed crowds, and this goes into the early 1800s. With the support from Paul Revere, she successfully petitioned Congress for a military pension. She was the first American woman, to receive a pension for combat service. Now, her legacy, what's her impact? Deborah Sampson challenged expectations about gender and bravery and patriotism. She wasn't just a curiosity. She was a fully committed soldier. And her story remained relatively obscure for decades, but was rediscovered and celebrated in the 19th and the 20th centuries. Especially as women's roles in military and political life begin to gain more and more attention. Now, she's honored in statues, children's books have been written about her, military history, and the United States Navy has a ship named the USS Deborah Sampson. She showed that women weren't just supporting the war effort, they were sometimes fighting in the war effort. Now, Deborah Sampson died in 1827, but her courage and independence live on. She helped break ground for generations of women in uniform. She fought in a war, she lived in secret, and demanded recognition, not just for herself, but for what she proved was possible. Deborah Sampson didn't wait for permission to serve her country. She acted, she sacrificed, and she made history. If you learned something new tonight, hey, like, comment, follow, share, all those things, right? And you do that, and I'll keep putting out more things that you should know by being alive. Because sometimes the bravest patriots aren't who you'd expect. They're hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching.